Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, and who am I speaking to in the 425?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to? Yes, it is, Wendy, and who are you
Great.
with?
My name is Wendy Davidson. I'm calling from David Evans and Associates. You just applied with us for a few positions, and I wanted to discuss that with you, and I was wondering if we could set up a time to do so.
Yeah, that'd be good. Let me look at my calendar. So you're in Bellevue or Seattle?
Well, I am currently in California, but I recruit for David Evans and Associates all through the country.
Yep. I'm actually here in Northern California, but here's my
Okay.
situation. I have engineering licenses in California, Colorado, and Washington State. And in Washington State, you have to have the structural engineer license to design bridges there. And
Yeah.
so I'm very familiar with that. So, and I've worked in Seattle before, so I'm very familiar with that area. So,
Yeah, we have a lot of open positions in Seattle, and I would love to speak to you about the opportunities there. Uh, is now a good time to talk, or do you want to schedule something?
yeah, we can talk about them, sure.
Yeah, great. Okay, so Michael, you just applied, I saw, and like I mentioned, you applied for a few positions. So my first question to you is, what is it that you are looking for in your next position?
Well, I'm looking for stability. Excuse me, I'm recovering from allergies and cold. So I'm looking for some stability. I'm looking for meaningful work. I know that David Evans, I just saw on the post that there's some mass transit work, which I've done in the past. Years ago, I worked on BART, which is our mass transit system here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I'm just, want something long term. Design buildings and bridges both, so it doesn't matter to me.
So,
Because my career, what's happened is when bridges boom, buildings boom. You know,
yeah, okay.
so that's why I've
So,
had to do both. So, and right now I'm, not working. My client passed away, and so
okay. So, can I just check real quick? You currently you're working for your own company. Is that correct?
yeah, it's just me.
Okay. And you have been doing that since 2012, is that correct?
Yes, I've been doing that since. Correct.
Okay. And you say that your client passed away, so that's the reason why you're looking around?
Correct.
Okay. Before that, you were with the City of Austin, and then before that, you were with Middlebrook and Louis. Um,
Yeah, that was a big
so,
building firm, and then they in 2009 they don't exist anymore. They dissolved. So and then the founder passed away. So
okay. All right. And why did you leave City of Austin?
at that time, what happened was the oil glut happened, and that was when the price of oil fell. Texas is big time on oil, and then they had a big drop in city revenue, so I got laid off.
Yeah.
They had a lot of public
Okay.
works projects, and then they all stopped because the price of oil fell, and
Yeah.
that's what they depend on for their revenue. Which you know, I think it's a
Yeah.
bad idea, but I'm not them, so I don't do their budgets.
you're just a structural engineer.
Yeah. Yes.
so, um, so then you decided after that you decided to just go on your own and start your own company. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been basically I go where the work is, so I've been to Seattle. Excuse me, Seattle and Colorado and LA and San Diego, But I'm getting tired of
Okay.
that because I want to be in one place. It's hard to do with a family,
Yeah.
especially and then I have a dog here, so I would like to stay. And yeah, I've been to Seattle the last I think 3 years ago I went there and I had my dog with me. It was very fun to go to Seattle.
Okay. All right. So your preference, because as mentioned, you applied for a few positions. Is your preference Seattle?
I want to see what the work is, the projects are about first before I commit, because I don't know what's going on in Portland. I looked on the website and didn't find it, but it may not contain the most, excuse me, current information.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
Okay. So what you would like to know is what kind of work you'll be doing. Would that be the
Correct
decider for you?
Yeah, that would be.
Okay. All right. So I was right now. I think the way to get that information to you is to get you to speak to the person who would be able to tell you that information, because even though I do recruitment for the whole company, it is a little bit difficult to keep track of exactly what projects happen at exactly what business unit and what region. So the hiring manager is typically more able to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of, you say that the type of work will direct you as to where you want to be. And I assume it's either Seattle or Portland. What type of work would you like to do?
Well, I like designing structures, but I like to look at the challenges behind those too and what type it is. I'm more of the type of, I want to do it, see if I can do it. You know what I mean? That's why I did soft story retrofits for so long, for 5 years. I wanted to see if I could do it. And then, I also did a unreinforced masonry retrofits too. I did one, and then that didn't get built because the owner passed, the contractor that I was working with passed away. And that was a time when COVID shut down here in California. All the hotels were shut down, so he couldn't work on any soft story retrofits because here in I'm in the Bay Area in San Francisco. They are required to put up tenants you displace up in the hotels, and the landlord has to pay for it. And it was difficult to do with all the hotels shut down.
Okay, so is that where your interest lies in retrofits on buildings?
Actually, I do all sorts of stuff, so it's just more than retrofits. It's new buildings and a whole bunch of different stuff.
Okay, so would you say that your interest would be more on horizontal structures rather than bridges?
I have interest in that too. I took a class on it to get refreshed because I hadn't. The last time I designed one was back in 2004. So I felt my knowledge was out of date, Yeah. And then when I was working for the city of Austin, I reviewed a few of them.
Because I know that my hiring manager in Seattle definitely is looking for bridge engineers.
Yeah, and I could do that too, so that's no problem. I've adapted to different things. As I said,
it needs to be your passion. It needs to be something that you want to do exclusively. If you're interested in buildings and vertical structures, then
here's the thing too. Some of them, like transit stations, here in the Bay Area, the one I did, it has to be a building, and you have to do the building standards and the bridge standards. BART does not, says it has to be done that way, and the reason it is because there's, federal money involved.
Yes.
Are you in Seattle or not?
I used to be in Seattle, yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with the Washington State Convention Center?
Yes, I am very familiar.
That's an example of a building that's designed per building code. The part that goes over I-5?
Yes.
The part above the freeway, that's the building code, and then the part that holds it up, that's the bridge code.
Bridge, yeah.
So there's no easy answer, and the reason Seattle does this is because they have run out of land to build. In there, I think it floods because they're very close to rock, so they're very cautious on where the water goes.
Yeah.
So that's why you see a lot of the lids. That's what they're called, basically, where they build a park on top of the freeway.
Yeah. So, can I say that you are interested in both bridges and vertical structures. Is that an accurate
That is an accurate statement.
statement? Okay, good. And you are interested in both Portland and Seattle. What would the hiring manager say that would interest you? Is what I want to know.
Okay, I want to be sure there's a path going forward, and that's basically part ownership of the firm, basically, or something like that, And to me, that's really important. I just haven't found it in any of the firms I've worked for because a lot of them, there's a lot of politics involved.
Yeah.
And I really dislike politics because in some firms I've worked, they promote people I feel shouldn't. And I'll give you an example. There was a guy they promoted that put a ceiling, wanted to design a retrofit for a building in Seattle. This is a high school. And he cut into the asbestos ceiling. And he got promoted over me. And I felt that's very bad because you don't ever cut into asbestos. That's common sense.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I want to see, it's a long term. I don't want it to be full time for a year and then I start this thing over again. I want the work to be stable. I want the work to have the technical challenges too. And the other thing I worry about too is, yes, there's budgets, but in the past I've dealt with budgets the best I can. But when you get a project that has everything that can go wrong, you just got to deal with it. And sometimes those projects go over budget. So basically, I've had that happen a few times, but that's because they lowballed the work just to get it. And then they didn't realize what was going on before they priced it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for that stability.
And that would be support from management if something does go wrong.
That's right. And also, I'd like support from younger engineers too. I think in my case, in my career, it's been a mix of the two. Because a lot of the younger engineers know stuff, and I tend to ask them when I don't know something. A lot of the software wasn't around when I was in college. 3D CAD, which is the Revit, wasn't around. It was being invented in 2002.
Yeah.
So that was out of when I was. That was way past when I was done with my, my degrees, my first 2 degrees.
Yeah. Okay. And Michael, what kind of a rate are you looking for to start at a firm?
Well, I looked at the one for. I like the range for the one in Seattle. I don't know if you're familiar with Washington State. They have to post all the salary ranges for the senior position.
We're very familiar with that.
Yeah, California has it, Colorado has it, New York City has it. And the reason they're doing that is because they're having the problems with pay equity. And what they're finding out, here in California, they sue now, for the pay equity. It's bad. They want to avoid the bad publicity of the firm because what happens is that way you don't get people working for you.
Yeah.
Because when they find out you underpay somebody, it makes it real difficult to recruit. And people remember that, and it's easy to look up because, especially when they do things like apply for unemployment, it becomes a public record because they compile that information. I don't know about Washington. I can't say for Washington State, but California it is.
Yeah.
And the other question I have is, what about working from home? That's what I'm really considering. I don't have a problem if I have to fly to Seattle or Portland to the office. That's not a problem for me because it's a straight shot. And I know that I don't know where your office in Seattle or Bellevue is. I don't know where that one is or Portland, but they have mass transit that connects from the airport to downtown in Seattle and in Portland. I've used it.
Yes.
Right. By the way, it's a good system. I love it.
Are you thinking of relocating, or do you want to stay in Northern California?
I'd like to stay in Northern California if possible, but if I have to relocate, I have to relocate. But I don't want to bump into the situation where this is a job for a few months, and then have to break an apartment lease, which costs more money to break an apartment lease, if you get here,
Yeah. Sure.
Because I've had to
And
do.
we certainly have a lot of flexibility around working from home. We work a hybrid, um, normal staff, but for myself, I telecommute. I never go into an office, so there definitely is flexibility around working from home.
Yeah, where are you living these days, if you mind me asking?
I am down in Southern California,
What part?
Redondo Beach.
Oh, cool.
Yes, yes, it's lovely. We used to be in Seattle for many years, and just moved recently. Or no, it's not recent anymore. It's like 2 years now. But yeah, it's great. We love it here.
My wife's family lives down there.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
was the guy that I don't know if you're familiar with. When you go to in LA County for the gas pumps to be sure they're pumping the right amount of gas. All the stickers you see
no, I'm not sure exactly what you're
when
talking
you pump
about.
gas, you see a sticker saying it's been checked.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, her cousin monitored all those.
Oh, okay, nice.
So he was on TV. He showed, and he caught some of the gas companies, not pumping the right amount, getting what people were paid for, basically, cutting
Yeah.
back. So he would catch them, and then he would shut the pumps down.
Okay.
And sometimes
Michael,
he'll find out if, like, the
uh,
sign's posted incorrectly. He tells the owner because a lot of times they don't know,
yeah.
which I was really shocked to see.
Michael, I just to get back to the rate. What kind of a rate are you looking for in your next position? You can give. I'm certainly not negotiating with you right now. I would just like a range that I can present to my hiring team.
I'm thinking in the 150s. I'm open to negotiation because I want to see what the whole package is first with any
Sure.
job. Because I don't know what your health. It's hard for me to say what it is because there could be other things I want that you got that DEA could pay for.
Yeah.
And that to
No,
me is,
absolutely.
some of them pay for tuition. Some of them get better health insurance. I don't know what DEA David Evans does, so I have no clue.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we do have great benefits and. Yes, definitely a conversation to be had later. I just wanted to know where, a little bit of a range so that we can start the conversation. Michael, I think, sorry, now I have a frog in my throat. I think that's all the questions that I have for you right now. I would like to get your resume and information to my team just to let them know that you've applied and that this is what we talked about. Can you think of any questions that you might have for me at this stage?
Okay. How long have the positions been open, and why have they been open?
Well, we opened a lot of positions just recently, not very long ago, up in Seattle because we won a lot of work up there, and our bridge manager down in Portland actually relocated up to Washington to work on all these projects, and also to just start develop a team up there to work on all this work that we just won. So yeah, that's why.
Yep, I know where your office is in Seattle. I've actually in Bellevue. I've driven by it actually.
Yeah, it's on the I-90.
Yeah, I've driven by it. I just didn't know it was your office, because I don't keep track of it,
Yeah.
I'm from New York, so I didn't even know you had an office in New York. So that's a new one to me, so.
Yeah, we do. We do a lot of work up in New York.
What do you guys do in New York?
FTA stuff, I think.
Oh, yeah, Metro Transit. I think I know where your
Yeah.
Seattle office is. I think I've actually seen it, if it's where I think it is.
Yeah.
It's, okay. It wasn't what I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, Michael?
How soon are you looking to fill the positions?
We can fill them tomorrow if we find the right person. We are not in a rush to hire somebody that is not going to be the right person for us.
Okay. What are the steps in the process to be interviewed, basically? Is it, like three interviews,
It's never the same. It depends very much on the hiring manager. It depends on the position. It's not ever the same, but I think the first interview will typically be a Zoom interview with the immediate supervisor and whoever he feels he wants on that Zoom meeting, and then from there he will decide who else needs to be involved in the conversation with a senior employee like yourself. Our business unit managers are typically pulled in at some stage as well.
Okay. So how long in time-wise will the process last about, basically?
Also, depending a lot on the hiring team. I know my hiring manager right now is out in the field. He's been out there the whole week. So I've not been able to get hold of him too much this week. But he's back in the office next week, and hopefully it can move fast. It can move very fast when they are not slammed, which these guys are. They are so busy. That's why they need the people. But yeah,
Okay.
can't tell you. There's no normal.
Yeah, I have a question for you. What do you like working at David Evans?
You know what I like most about working at David Evans, and I've worked for them for 15 years, is management believe in work-life balance. They expect me, to work really well and hard and be kind to my colleagues and certainly service the clients, which are you and my hiring managers. But they also know that I have a family and a life outside of work, and that is more important. So work-life balance is important to myself, but it's important to the leadership, and they put their mouths their money where their mouths are. They really do look after staff really well, and they're transparent, and there's everything is talked about at DEA. We speak to our CEO regularly, where the floor is open and you can ask him anything about anything, and he will tell you the truth. It's refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when do I expect to hear back after this call?
Michael, I could get back to you today, or in a week's time. I can't. I'm not. I don't want to make any promises, but I'm hoping it can be soon.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to follow up because I don't want to keep bugging you. I got your number here, and I just don't want to keep bugging you.
You can bug me anytime. I don't mind. Never will I mind. Bug me. I want you to bug me if you have questions.
Okay, that's good.
And it's Wendy Davidson, and I'm a corporate recruiter here at David Evans and Associates. And this is a good number to get hold of me. I might go offline a little bit next week. I have much needed or much looked out or forward to vacation planned next week. But I have colleagues who will be in contact with you if I can't. It will be Tyler Poldy or Shannon Strode. Any of those two would be in contact with you if I can't.
Yep, that would be good to know. He's the, I just looked him up on LinkedIn. He's one of the recruiters, so I just wanted to know, if it's an engineer or not, before I interview, because I don't want to...
Tyler Poldy is the director of recruitment.
Yep. Okay, I look forward to hearing from you on the next stage, so
Great. Yeah, it was really nice speaking with you, Michael. I will be in contact. And like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call.
Okay, thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye.
And that was the DEA recruiter, folks. Phone number 425 area code 890-5954. At David Evans and Associates, we will see if they keep their word. So hopefully, but as I've seen in the past, I believe it when I see it. So talk to you later. So, let's keep it up.